all they did was shut that shit down. And I hope you can hear the anger in my voice, because it forever shaded me. It made me darker. I am Darth Vader because of that. I feel like I'm a Darth Vader of good, but I am no longer that whiny little asshole Luke Skywalker. I am Darth Vader. I am violently angry, okay? And I'm telling you, that's why I wanted to set up why, maybe to help you understand how I am who I am online. Now, let me say this. That's just the last 3 years. African Americans have experienced those kinds of things their entire life, their parents' entire life, their grandparents' entire life, and their great-grandparents' entire life, and it goes on and on like that. And so, of course, they are really, really angry. And just those 3 little small things in my life have allowed me to empathize with their pain.
Okay.
And I am at a point now, they tell me what to do, and I will do it, because I am sick of these politicians and bureaucrats getting on their knee, pretending they care, giving impassioned, wonderful speeches, and then this is going to all go away, and they're going to start murdering innocent black people again.
Yep.
And it's going to happen again and again and again. And we have a moment of unity and rising up and people empowerment right now, and we cannot lose it. And yes, do I care about entrepreneurs and business people? Hell yeah, I do. I get it. I am that. But I care more about the African Americans that have been tortured and beaten and killed, and only until now have been seen because fortunately we have cameras on our phones. Imagine everything that has gone on that has not been videoed.
Absolutely.
And that's where I'm at. So, you know.
But you know what?
And I just wanted to say that so you could, as an empathetic person, I'm not saying that you even have to agree with me. All I'm saying is that you, as an empath, hopefully can understand where I'm coming from on that.
And I do. And you know what?
Sure.
That's what's great about a show like this, because you are expressing the balance, the other side of me. I just don't know what to do with all of that.
Right.
And so I would say, you know, you started talking about your issues coming out. I would say mine probably more borders depression if I was to self-diagnose,
right on.
rather than the anger. I mean, you know, and that kind of thing. But I can get, you know, I talked to you about my unemployment and what that did to me that first couple of weeks. And
how are you with that, by the way?
Well, I mean, I'm okay, but I'm in imbalance, and I still
Are you still unemployed?
Yeah, I'm on temporary unemployment because remember, we're in advertising. If the businesses are closed, who are you going to call? But my mentality on that is, remember we talked about me being essential or not. So I had to get out of myself, and I did after a couple of weeks. And then we had our show, and it botched up, and I really went into a slump where I was like, I can't do anything right. My company doesn't consider me essential. One of my favorite things to do is have a radio show, and I can't even get that right. So I really
hate when that happens. Why does the universe love kicking you when you're down?
I know.
I don't understand that.
Yes, 100%. So then I knew, you know, I'd get on the phone, and I wanted you. I wanted this. This is what I wanted. I didn't want us to, you know, and like you said, I don't think that we really disagree. It's just that our energies are in other places. And, you know, sometimes you really do have to get pissed off and angry. And I appreciate your passion and your advocating for these situations, because anger might be what it takes, you know, 5 stages of grief when someone passes away. Well, anger is certainly one of them. So then we get to resolve. And I love that, you know, you shared something with me on that I can take a look at. And actually, you know, I got the broad spectrum of what had happened and why they were angry and what was going on, but I'm in I don't know if it's one of those personality types. Tell me what to do. Give me your demands and how can I be a part of actually doing something. I am not, me personally, I probably should, but I'm just not necessarily a protester. I'm feisty. I can do different things, but that might maybe getting right there in the ground and doing that. But my problem, I have trust issues, and it isn't about the protesters. It's about the other guys that come in at 6 or 7 or 8 o'clock at night and ruin it for a whole entire day of protesting and making a difference. So, and I just, it only takes one idiot. I've often thought that when I was at a concert. I'm like, here we are standing rocking and rolling. It takes one idiot to ruin this. So, but I know, again, that protesting is you're objecting to something and you are going out and you're fighting against, and it's hard. And there's a grain out there that has been this is the other thing. It's about conditioning and grooming people to join the band. Because there's people that have had such a mindset, whether it was somebody like myself who lived in a bubble and I was working my ass off trying to get my life right and all this other shit's going on out in the world, and I wasn't really seeing that. For me, I would think a recommendation would be for me to have conversations and get to the people, talk to them, get a real feel for somebody I don't know, because the people of color in my life, I don't know about their oppression. They are, they're healthy, successful, whether they're college kids or whatever, just finding out more, like you said. It isn't maybe their life is fucked up. They have history within their family tree that has. And so,
Beverly, you're such a special person, because you have this ability to open your mind, to put yourself in their shoes. And that's so important. And then when you do that, you don't have to change your mind, but you can be like, okay, I get it now. Yeah. I see where they're coming from. And that's very powerful.
Let me ask you a very touchy question. Let me take you back to a movie called Roots.
Ooh, yeah, I haven't seen that in a while.
Right. That movie, in my small world, is when I think that things actually started to change for Americans. And they really were like, ew, this is some really good storytelling. This is pretty scary. Yeah. This is pretty awful. And the black people were okay with it because it really told a true story. And there were many, and the other, races, white, whatever they were, Hispanic, I don't care, name it. They were like, wow. That is a movie that, in a really strange way, it's uncanny. That's what's going on. It's scary. It really is. Yeah. When you see what you saw, and that guy staring right into that camera, that particular cop, there's hate in his eyes. He just was like, I'm doing this, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. He was in another place. He didn't care if she was filming him. And then you get the other angle of the other three. I didn't know what was going on behind that car until that other phone came. And you are 100% right. And I think it was Will Smith that said something like, it's always been there. It's just getting filmed now, And, so my heart is there. I just think that there are a lot of people that are impatient, that are saying, you can't see this. You've been around this long and you can't see this. What is it that I didn't see it? Right. I wasn't, like exactly what you said. I wasn't living it. I didn't see a baby get taken away before my eyes like you did. And your anger, the translation, as long as it's not getting lost in translation, and I don't think it is. you're out there shucking and jiving, and how, we're out there, we're in I could feel your energy on your walk in the protest with them. I could feel that was more to you than just a protest. I know you got energy. I know that you gained knowledge and spirit from those people. And no matter what color they were, you guys were all there for the same cause.
Yeah, it was cool.
And I know that that's the energy that's getting fed off of these things. And then, you're getting these stories of, for no good reason, the police are spraying innocent people with pepper spray. And it's like, what? It gets overwhelming for me. Where do we begin? So my point is, with that image, that police officer should be fired, period. There needs to be ramifications, just like there when someone does something wrong and they get arrested. It's blowing my mind. I told you I lost count of the arrests that they've made in this past week, but they can't arrest those 3 officers on camera with their knee in one person's back. Does it really take 3 guys to hold that guy down when he's telling you can't breathe, and you got another guy standing there and he won't let people help? That is the fury.
Do you live in Cleveland or Akron?
I'm in Akron.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So on your Facebook post of our show, I put a link to a protest tonight, and I've been to 2 in this event, and now there's going to be one on Saturday, and I would not necessarily recommend that you start with the Saturday event because it's going to be hot. I mean, it's the kind of protest where the gas comes out, okay? But the one tonight is over at Grace Park, and I feel like it is going to be a peaceful, loving event. Okay? They're talking about CDC guidelines, and like we're going to walk on the sidewalk, and we have that on I think, was it Sunday? Because it started at Hardesty Park, and it was wonderful. So if you have any interest, and if you don't, and you have trust issues, I totally get it, and you shouldn't ever feel obligated. But I would say that the one tonight at Grace Park at 6 o'clock should be quite lovely, okay? And then I also put a link to a Wikipedia page of a film that you might find interesting called 13th, which is also about race, and that if you like Roots, you might like 13th.
Okay.
Okay. So now, and then one last thing. And I mean, not that we're ending, but I have another thought I wanted to share. So,
please do.
You are correct about the businesses. You're right. Businesses have gotten crushed this year, and I get it. I live it. I know it.
Mm-hmm.
If I could make a suggestion,
mm-hmm.
I think you are also, if it were me, I would say I wouldn't talk so much about the businesses today,
mm-hmm.
like next week, but talking about peaceful protests it's the same thing in my mind,
mm-hmm.
and it's more acceptable. Like, I want to support you, but I'm scared of the violence. That
mm-hmm.
kind of discussion, because it's the same thing. You're saying the exact same thing, but
right.
But ultimately, if you feel compelled, just talk about the businesses. By all means, talk about the business. But I will say this: it is a kind of a third rail topic right now that is, I think, become a politicized topic that says, "Oh, you're not for us.
Yep.
You're for you." And I'm just telling you how I see it, okay?
Yep.
So like, it's not that you have to be for violence, for rioting. In fact, you can be very vocal about how you want to be a part of something that has change. You want to know what to do. You want to know what the next steps are. And you want to be part of something that is positive and I think you don't like the word peaceful, but whatever, nonviolent.
No. I'm just saying.
So if that's my only, I mean, but ultimately that's just my friend recommendation of messaging as a marketer.